right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I was watching something that was a few months ago already, and Hillary Clinton was on, and this was before she announced that she was running for president, by the way. And somebody said, "You should run for president," and they all applauded, and then Hillary said, "Well, I don't know, I haven't made up my mind yet." And the woman said, "Well, if anybody should be president, it should be you, as our first female president." A lot of people don't disagree with that. Some people do. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't have a female president. Just like the Pope had this thing this morning about the foot washing thing with the women.
Yeah.
Not that I understand that whole thing, but let's talk about this a little bit. Donna Carol Voss has thought about this way more than I have. She is a columnist. She's a contributor to The Blaze, The Huffington Post, The Federalist. Her book is called One of Everything, The Recipe for Happily Ever After, A Slice of Real Life. And she wants to talk to us also about Hillary Clinton and why she believes she's the wrong candidate to be president of the United States. Donna Carol Voss. Good morning, Donna.
Good morning.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kaysville, Utah, which is about a half an hour north of Salt Lake.
All right. Well, thank you for being on. Is it cold there?
Yes, it is. It is very cold.
Okay. I was just going to rub it in because it's like 70 degrees here today.
Well, I'm from San Diego, so...
Oh, never mind. You know better, right?
I do know.
When we look back on history, pretty much white guys were the ones in charge. So black folks had a hard time. Women had a hard time. But we've come a long way, like the cigarette commercial says. I think at this point in time, we've done pretty good as far as trying to correct the wrong things we had been doing. But that doesn't mean that anybody should be put into that office just because she's a female, or the fact that she was married to a president before,
right?
Or anything else. I mean, unless you actually like what she's saying, which a lot of people do. I'm not trying to discredit the people who like what Hillary is saying. What are you saying, Donna?
I'm saying she's the wrong candidate at the wrong place at the wrong time, and, pick a reason, any reason. She's just a train wreck, a ticking time bomb waiting to happen.
Explain a little deeper. Why do you think that?
I think that she missed historic by 8 years, because if she had been the first one who was not a white man, big fanfare. We've had a black man. So even though she would, if she were elected, be the first woman president, you know what? That ceiling, so to speak, has already been broken. And I come up with a new reason every day why she's the wrong candidate. And today I was thinking she's counting on the idealism of being the first woman president. But her biggest competition comes from the idealist in chief, Bernie Sanders, who has just got, young people and millennials, frothing at the mouth that he's going to address income inequality. And to them, that's what fairness is income inequality. So Hillary Clinton she's missing on every beat.
Okay. The income inequality thing is an interesting thing, because I've often tried to figure out how they think that would work. If you suddenly started to say to the okay, I love Art Garfunkel and Paul Simon. Don't get me wrong if they're listening. But Art Garfunkel was, they used the Simon and Garfunkel song on the Bernie Sanders commercial, right? Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with that?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay,
and it was a very touching thing. You're looking at Americana. You're listening to this song that reaches us if you're old enough to remember it. And of course, they did it wonderfully. And the song says, "Let us be lovers, we'll marry our fortunes together." Okay, that might be good for a man and a woman, but does that mean all of society? So what does that mean? Art Garfunkel, if I write songs and I don't really make any money at it, Art Garfunkel's okay with me getting some of his money? I mean, I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think of stage 2, right? Stage 1 is, it's not fair, let's make it fair. Stage 2 is, let's say, theoretically, we could level the playing field. So every single person was at the exact same starting line. Some of us are smarter, some of us work harder, some of us are just going to have better opportunities. So 5 years from now, it will be unfair again. What do you do, just reset every 5 years?
Yeah, and how do you even establish a starting line? I mean, how do you do that in the workforce?
That's why it's called idealism, because it's this notion that makes your heart beat faster. But really, when you look at it, really, How?
And you can't hold on to the old things, which she seems to me to be doing. She's holding on to everything old because all of these problems that she brings to the forefront really aren't problems anymore. And you've got a voice like Carly Fiorina, and she, in my mind, has a lot of good qualifications and qualities, and she's bringing that to the forefront, and she's got an extremely different personality than Hillary does. She can relate to the people, whereas Hillary has a hard time.
Right, and she's everything Hillary isn't. So she's knowledgeable about everything all over the world. She is competent. She has a proven track record of getting people to follow her. And you're right, she's very approachable. And I feel, I know it sounds ludicrous to feel bad for Hillary Clinton, but on a purely personal level, thinking that somewhere in there is a cute little 4-year-old girl, how sad for her that she simply cannot connect with other human beings.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
She's very forceful, and that's not the way to do it.
Do you know, the first time I read anything by Ben Carson, I had no idea I was reading something from a black man. And I hope this doesn't get lost in the racial element of this. But what I'm trying to say is that I thought I like whoever this is. I don't even know who this guy is, but I like who this guy is. Can we get him on the show? And then we eventually got him on the show. And even listening to him, I couldn't detect anything. Not that it mattered to me, but when I found out, I thought, wow, how refreshing is this? So we got somebody who's I would support as another black president. Even before I knew he was a black a candidate. Well, I don't even think he was a candidate back in those days, right? Mm-hmm. I think it was just somebody who we were talking to. All right. So, but the same thing could be true for the women candidates. If somehow we didn't know they were women and just read what they were writing, or do you know what I mean, and somehow removed gender, removed race, just had the principles in front of us, I think that would make a big difference for how we felt about them, right?
Well, I think the irony is exquisite that Hillary and her generation fought this war so that there could be a woman president. Well, you know what? They won the war. So the millennials who have grown up with feminist mothers and grandmothers and a female Secretary of State twice and, just representatives of females in power, they are not all that hot and bothered about Hillary Clinton being the first president. There will be a first woman president, but it doesn't have to be Hillary. And like you said, she's older. Her feminism is older. It's very male bashing. It's very victim-y. And her pantsuits are older, and her hair is older, and she's just she's not. I mean, she's not someone
now.
that.
But wait a minute. Well, okay, let me defend her a little bit on that front. I mean, aren't the men dopey looking too in that regard?
Sure, but they're not trying to ride to the office on their gender.
Right, but she is.
You think that's what she's doing?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Without that, why would you even vote for her, right? What does she have? She has nothing but scandal, dishonesty, distrust.
Well, that's why I'm saying the principles, the writings, or the track record in her case, since she has one. Mm-hmm. I mean, those are the things that we should be looking at, not her hair and her clothing.
Well, it's true, but I wish we did. I mean, you're just talking about that lovely Bernie Sanders commercial with Simon and Garfunkel. If we're voting based on a commercial, that's a problem. We're not looking at the issues.
Right.
How many people really know what the difference is between Marco Rubio's tax plan and Ted Cruz's tax plan? Very, very few. I happen to be one because I'm a news junkie and I digest it and I write about it. But honestly, if you go out on the street like Jay Leno used to or Jesse Waters does today, people do not know who Joe Biden is.
Absolutely. And some people say that if the FBI does issue a what do they call it? A subpoena?
Yes.
An indictment.
An indictment. Thank you. For Hillary, then Joe Biden's going to step in. Do you believe that?
I think there's some kind of machination going on where how could they possibly trust Hillary Clinton with the nomination? But if they can get her to attract all the dirt like a magnet, then when she finally goes down, it's kind of a clean, fresh space for Joe Biden to step into. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Joe Biden had some tragedy. He lost a son like this in the past year.
Right.
And so we are empathetic towards things like that. And so we don't want to throw dirt at a guy like that. I wonder if he would be immune from that because of that.
I think he's already immune. I mean, there's something about him that's just like a lovable uncle, a lovable teddy bear, grandpa. I mean, for some reason, that's the thing. You have charisma or you don't. People like you or they don't. Bill Clinton had it. Joe Biden has it. Barack Obama has it. Hillary Clinton does not. And so there's not a whole lot you can do because Americans love charisma. We respond to the emotional, wonderful, captivating story of someone. That's why we like, I think, a large reason why we like Ben Carson. What a wonderful story. Marco Rubio. What a wonderful story.
Well,
but Hillary Clinton.
Well, Trump definitely has a lot of charisma, but he's got.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of problems with him as well. I mean,
but I think it's his charisma that's taking him as far as he is because
right.
Americans just love someone that feels strong, and we want to be led. We haven't felt like somebody's at the helm for so long.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
They don't do what they say to do.
And while I have a lot of problems with some of the things he says, because he doesn't sound as knowledgeable as some, I think Ben Carson is more knowledgeable than Donald Trump. I think Marco Rubio is more knowledgeable. I think Ted Cruz is more knowledgeable. I think Carly Fiorina is more knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. But I think he is the better leader,
Exactly.
And I think a leader, if he's smart or she's smart, understands what they don't know and finds some people who can do it. All those buildings that Donald Trump has his name on, he didn't lay one brick. He didn't put in one faucet. And so, and using that as an example, he got the job done, but he found people who knew how to do it. And if he did that as a president, then maybe that wouldn't be so bad.
It's the mark of a good leader.
I agree with that, but he would surround himself with the smartest and the best people. But I was thinking this morning, when you look at the field as is, so I look at Trump, Cruz, Rubio, Clinton, and Sanders. It's like, okay, would you rather cut off your arm, your leg, or your ear? No one is going to, none of them really excite anyone.
Yeah.
But think about this, the ticket of, I don't know if Ted Cruz would humble himself, but Donald Trump as the president, Ted Cruz as the vice president so that he can make sure everything's done, he pushes it forward, but Donald Trump just clears the way for him and gets it to happen. I would love that. That was the only thing I would be excited about, is that combo.
Well, how about Carly Fiorina as the vice presidential nominee for Donald Trump? What do you think?
I love her. I voted. I mean, I contributed to her campaign, and I've never contributed to any campaign. I think excuse me, she's wonderful. But just being pragmatic, I think that Cruz would bring more oomph. And I also think that if Donald Trump has not served in political office, we don't want two people who have not. I mean,
that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, you're right. He would have to. Cruz would have to humble himself to accept that.
Right. Which I think he could, because I think he's that kind of person that he really is. He sticks to his principles. He has integrity. He wants what's best for the country. I could see him doing it, but we'll see.
And Trump would have to say, yeah, okay, I know we were fighting, but let's get in on this together.
Don't you think they're just like the WWE? I mean,
yes.
They're friends. They know what happens.
Oh, I like you. All right. Can I take a little break, and we'll be right back? We don't have a whole lot of time left. On the other side of the break, we'll have about 10 minutes, I think. So let's take a little break right now. Donna Carol Voss is on the phone. One of everything. We haven't talked about the book yet. Insight into why Hillary Clinton is the wrong candidate. I guess we covered that pretty well. So we'll be right back after the break. This is WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For this Wednesday, cloudy with showers and heavy thunderstorms that can produce flooding, downpours, and damaging wind gusts into the evening hours. The high today 70 to 74. Lingering clouds and a shower later tonight. The overnight low 58 to 62. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 66 to 70. And for Friday, becoming mostly sunny, high 62 to 66. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
You've got got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey Ocala, this is Kelly Hart, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine. Did you know last year Ocala Magazine won more awards in excellence than any other publication in Florida? And this year, Ocala Magazine was named Best Consumer Magazine in the state. Now you can join me every Friday at 10 a.m. on Ocala Magazine Radio, where we bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life, right here on The Source. Ocala Magazine thanks you for making us number one. And remember, there is only one Ocala Magazine.
All right, 9 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Donna Carol Voss is on the phone. Her book is called One of Everything. We're talking about the presidential candidates, including Hillary Clinton, kind of focusing on her somewhat. Do you know what I think? I'm going to brag a little bit. You know what I think I could do better than whoever's doing it right now? I think I could write whoever speeches. Donald Trump, he might have some good points, but he is slipping. It could be worded better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yes, but I think he gets away with it because of the charisma. Charisma does cover a multitude of sins.
I wouldn't disagree with that. But do you think that here's the man-woman difference? Do you think when Sarah Palin does that same thing that we don't forgive her as easily because she's a woman?
You know what? I've never cared for Sarah Palin. I think she does not have the gravitas or the substance. I think she's, no offense to her, but I think she's a little brittle. And so she comes across as, did you see that speech where she looked kind of like she was drunk, where she was just it was embarrassing. And I don't think it's because she's a woman. I think that she just does not inspire confidence in people. She's been a governor, yes, but the governor of Alaska, no offense, but I don't think that's the same thing as the governor of New York.
That's too funny. All right. So tell me about the book, One of Everything. What's the book about?
Well, the book is this incredible life story, which happens to be mine. I would not believe it if I had not lived it. So I started off in San Diego, a very, charm school kind of life. Went to Berkeley, got totally radicalized, I was raised Protestant. I became a pagan. I did tarot readings every day for 10 years. I can do an astrology chart. And got married, got divorced, and then moved back to San Diego because my dad had Alzheimer's. And I met this loser Mormon on my job. And I mean, what a freak show. He was a nice guy. He had never had sex before he was married, a Mormon.
Oh, a Mormon. Okay, okay.
Yeah, and so I felt so sorry for him because I thought, he's really missing out on what counts in life. And he was such a good friend to me that over time I became interested in what made him so happy. And then much to my family who dumped me and my friends who dumped me and my boyfriend who dumped me, much to their dismay, I was baptized as a Mormon. But that's not the point of the story. That's just one of the adventures.
Okay.
And then after that, I married a man who's 15 years older than I am. I was 38 and he was 54 when we got married. And I had never had kids because I'd never wanted to have kids.
Right.
But now that I'd caught this vision of family, I thought it was too late. And my husband is such a good man. He did not want me to miss out on the experience of motherhood. And he has kids and grandkids. But we adopted a sibling group through the county of San Diego. A boy who was 8, his 5-year-old sister, and their 16-month-old brother. And so overnight, I went from being a career woman to a stay-at-home mom afraid to come out of her bedroom in the morning. And then I really think the most interesting part of the story is the parenting. And my conclusion after very, very brutal 10, 11 years with him is that you think you're a great person until you have kids. And kids, I think it's their job to show you all the gunk in yourself that you didn't even know was there. And if you rise to the occasion, it gives you a chance to, I don't like, I'm going to get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. So at this point, I would say we're doing pretty well, but it was hell, brutal.
So how old are the children? You're still married?
Oh yeah, which is actually an achievement.
And are you still Mormon? You're still Mormon?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And how are the children? How old are the children now?
My oldest is 20. My daughter will be 18 in May, and the youngest just turned 13.
Oh wow.
Boy.
Well, and I've often thought this too, because I think when we were younger, you sound sort of like me, except the female version. You kind of think you know what's going on in the world, and everything that everybody told you is best for you, you resist or resent it or something. You steered away from it. But the truth is, just having a nice home with a nice family, hey, that's not such a bad idea. Happiness is, it's kind of like what they were telling you when you were younger, but you didn't want to listen.
I think I had white middle classism, which is that, parents are stupid. So anything my parents said or did or believed, I wanted nothing to do with. And actually, the thing that really changed me around was when I was a nursing home administrator in downtown Oakland, and the nursing home right in the middle of downtown Oakland was as black could be. And they were so, their mothers, the mothers in the black culture are so strong. In fact, I love that expression or that sentiment, I brought you into this world, I'll take you out. And they had such regard and respect for their mamas that I started to realize, that's another way to go. And then they sort of helped me, the young black staff in particular, they were so much wiser than me with my Berkeley degree and all my friends. And over time I realized, it's because they were raised in Bible-believing churches. You don't need a college education. In fact, sometimes that gets in your way. But if you just understand, early to bed, early to rise, make the man healthy, wealthy, and wise, well, you're so far ahead of the game.
I think
and that
so,
was what
too.
made me open to Christianity when I had been so close to it all along.
Yeah,
And I'm sure that they learned a lot from you, though, too, because you have to share. You have to share. You have to touch people.
No, one nurse very kindly gave me 6 videotapes on the rapture, I think trying to save my soul. And I, out of politeness, I watched, I think, 2 or 3 hours of it, but then I had to return it. So I don't know that they learned from me. I mean, I think I was the one. I was like a sponge soaking it up. I remember the first time I heard somebody say props. And I said to the guy next to me, I said, you mean like props on a stage? And he said, no, props, proper respect, props.
Oh, I didn't even know what you meant. Okay, gotcha.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so I learned the language, I learned the culture, and I just love that culture. So it's intense.
The religion part of our lives is interesting because sometimes we pick and choose which parts we want, And I always feel like if you have to be a scientist to understand God, then maybe you're not really understanding God, because if ultimately what it's about is having faith, and everything else is just a story that teaches us how other people learned how to have faith, which is what I think the Bible is. It's a bunch of stories that tell us how they came around to having faith in God. So that's it. I mean, that's it. It's not hard, and.
I also think I follow Richard Dawkins on Twitter. I love to read a variety of people. And I think the biggest mistake religious people make, especially ones that are down on religion, if there is a God, and I do believe there is, they want him to make sense to their mortal American lives today. Well, why would that be? If he's God, why would he make sense to us today? If we have nothing greater to learn and evolve to, what's the point? So he doesn't have to make sense to me.
Doesn't have to make sense. I like that. Yeah.
Wow.
But I think we have to have faith. I think that's the whole lesson of this whole life. Is to say, you know what? I'm not in control. I'm not going to be in. Hey, you know what? 5 minutes before I die, if I know I'm dying, there's nothing I can do.
Right.
All I have to have is faith that after I take my last breath, I'll be someplace better. And if I'm wrong, then I guess I won't find out.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you think that's the number one sickness for human beings is thinking they're in control?
Oh, yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. But
you got to share.
You're probably right. You are a deep-thinking lady.
I am a deep-thinking lady.
Donna?
And I have to tell you, all my life people said to me, you think too much. And finally now I can talk about this stuff.
But you're an independent thinker, and that's what's really beneficial about you.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed the conversation. You know what? I was kind of done with talking about Hillary anyway. I wanted to hear. I'm glad your book is about something totally different. Okay, One of Everything is the book. DonnaCarolVoss.com is the website, and she spells her name, her last name Voss. Donna and Carol are just like they sound. It's been a joy, Donna. Thank you for being on the show with us today.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it so much as well. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Donald Trump pulling out of Thursday night's GOP debate as he goes head-to-head with Fox News.
Let's see how much money Fox is going to make on the debate without me.
Trump demanding news anchor Megyn Kelly be dropped from moderating the debate.
In a statement, Fox News last night held its ground, saying, quote, "We're not sure how Iowans are going to feel about him walking away from them at the last minute, but it should be clear to the American public by now that this is rooted in one thing, Megyn Kelly, whom he has viciously attacked since August."
Fox's John Roberts. Trump opponent Ted Cruz mocking his decision to skip the debate and challenging him to a one-on-one debate. A new development in the month-long standoff in Oregon. One person dead, 8 in custody. Armed protester Eamon Bundy among those arrested. And a sign the housing market remains on solid footing. New home sales at the strongest pace in 10 months in December. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Sometimes what you want most from your car is nothing. No headaches, no surprises, no anxiety when it's late at night and you're on some distant freeway in a thunderstorm. Owning a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz can be that anxiety-free experience on every level. You know you're in one of the safest and most thoughtfully engineered vehicles on the road, and with an unlimited mileage warranty, you can drive as far as you want for up to 3 years, with roadside assistance included. Your sense of confidence and adventure are as unlimited as the warranty itself. Now you can drive the car of your dreams and realize that nothing is everything. And during the Certified Pre-Owned Sales event going on now through February 29th, you can receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. You've waited long enough.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
It's time for Farm and Range headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. After more than 35 years in the peanut business, Joe Campbell of Golden Peanut Company, Vice President for Procurement, is retiring. Joe began his peanut career with